What's up, coach? How are you?
Néstor,
¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? ¿Todo bien?
Héctor, ¿todo bien, Néstor? Sí. ¿Tú ves a Edwin allá atrás sentado o no?
Let me see. Hold on. I was just getting your name pulled up. Oh, I do see Edwin in the back. We see him. We see him. So where y'all headed?
We were eating, we were waiting for you, but you've been caught up, a little
Oh,
busy.
my bad. My bad.
Y todo
Edwin,
eso,
¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está?
Todo bien, gracias a Dios.
Ven, dime. ¿Qué es lo que tú tienes que decirme? Get it off your chest. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué es lo que hice mal? ¿Qué es lo que dije mal? ¿Qué fue?
No, todo bien, todo bien.
¿Estás seguro?
está frío,
Está frío.
Está frío, Néstor.
Está bien. All right, guys. So I was just letting him know what was it that he had to get off his chest because, I thought I said something that might have offended him. He said, nah, we good. So we obviously want to talk to him about what took place in the fight. Obviamente quiero preguntarte de tu opinión sobre la pelea y la dificultad de poder agarrarlo, porque él se movía mucho. So, dame traducirlo. So, obviously, I just wanted to ask him over his thoughts on the fight with Shakur and, the difficulties in being able to grab Shakur because of all the moving. And by grab, I don't mean physically. I just mean being able to, get him in the corner and land some shots.
Bueno, lo que puedo decir, lo que todo el mundo sabe, fue una pelea mala. Él no cumplió con ningún requisito de lo que él dijo que me iba a hacer. Traté de calentarlo para que sí la pelea fuera emocionante, pero todo el mundo vio que el problema no fui yo busqué la pelea, pero él no en ningún momento quiso exigir nada.
Espera ahí para que el otro lado.
So, he said, everybody's seen in the fight that he was trying to make the fight and that Shakur didn't live up to his words. He didn't didn't do any of the things that he said he would do. It was just a difficult fight. I do want to ask him about the matchmaker from Top Rank and his thoughts, saying that Edwin is on the level of Shakur, and that's why that fight played out like that, and that he will do everything in his power to keep Keyshawn Davis and Raymond Muratalla away from Edwin. So, quería preguntarte porque yo estaba haciendo la entrevista aquí con Brad Goodman. Él es el matchmaker de Top Rank y él dijo que él sabía el nivel que tú estabas y después viendo la pelea con Shakur, él dice que él te pone en el mismo nivel que Shakur y él dice que no te va a dar la pelea con Raymond Muratalla que entrena con García y tampoco no te pondría en el cuadrilátero con Keyshawn Davis, el olímpico. ¿Cuál es tu opinión sobre eso?
Yo quiero contestarle esa pregunta, Néstor.
Okay, go for it.
Nadie, todo el mundo, no oh, nobody believed in us, Ness.
Yep.
You know it. I know it. It was just me, Edwin, and my team. His mother, his parents believed that Edwin had the ability to fight with Shakur. I told people, Edwin is gonna be a mirror of Shakur. Edwin is as good as Shakur and better. So now that they seen him perform, now we made a lot of people believers. Now a lot of people have changed their mind. Now they got to change their thoughts. Like, oh wow, they seen, and they didn't see nothing yet. Ness, that's a lot. That's a lot more that Edwin got to offer.
Now,
therefore,
Richardson Hitchens, before the fight, he said, Edwin hits hard and it's going to be a dangerous fight. Obviously, I'm assuming this next part. I'm assuming Shakur seen that interview, didn't like it. Richardson did another interview and said he was only joking. But then post-fight, he does turn around and say that Shakur fought in that matter because he respected the power. He knew he would have got clipped if he got hit with that Edwin power. What's your thoughts on Richardson flip-flopping his opinion so much?
The kid is confused to me. I don't see the logic to it. He said he was getting clout over it, but I don't see the logic. Like, look, you spot us. You seen what we got. You know what I'm saying? You respected Edwin. You know what I'm saying? We gave you respect. So, you know, it is what it is. He just, I don't know, he's looking for clout, or he didn't want to scare Shakur. Or I can't call it, man. It's like, it was kind of weird because he can't. I heard him saying again now that Edwin reaction, Edwin, you know, footwork, Edwin power, Edwin this, every, you know, good things about Edwin, you know. But going back and him saying that he did that for cloud the first time, and now coming back and saying, going back, and you know what I'm saying? I don't get it really.
So I see Edwin obviously is here with you, not in the Dominican Republic, not taking a vacation. Are there plans to bring him back early first quarter, or is he now living full time in America?
First quarter, we should be announcing a fight pretty soon, man.
Wow. Congratulations. That's great, man. We were not expecting that, but that's great for them to strike while the iron is hot. Ask Edwin, ¿cómo te sientes sabiendo que tú vas a poder venir para atrás en una pelea en el principio del año?
Bueno, me siento súper bien, ya que es una oportunidad que se ve poco. Me siento más que privilegiado de poder volver, o sea, después de una derrota.
Obviously, he says he feels good. He feels good to have that opportunity to be able to come back. It's something that you don't often see. Someone coming off a loss and getting a return date. So I'm excited that they're striking while the iron is hot. But since that fight, there's been a lot of comparisons to Edwin and his skills, and people now want to see him in fights with Frank Martin and Tank Davis. So, Edwin, después de esa pelea, la gente obviamente te han puesto en un nivel en el boxeo y te quieren ver en pelea con Frank Martin y con Gervonta Tank Davis. ¿Cuál es tu opinión sobre esas dos peleas y cuál tú crees que es más fácil para ti?
Bueno, son peleas súper interesantes. Yo diría que cualquiera de las dos sería la buena.
So he says both fights are super interesting, and either one would be the good one. But I got to double down. ¿Cuál de los dos tú crees que va a ser más difícil?
No se sabe porque, como te digo, es algo que todo el mundo debe entender, de que no pueden juzgarle a una persona o decir, esta persona es fácil si todavía no se han medido, ¿me entiendes? Hay que esperar que suceda la pelea que tiene que suceder y ahí se define.
So he said, obviously people make that mistake where they, kind of make a decision without being in the ring with someone, and he says you can't do that. You have to actually fight the person to know which one's going to be difficult or easy. What would you prefer, though? Would you prefer the orthodox fighter or the southpaw? What style is easier for you? ¿Cuál estilo te gustaría mejor, el zurdo o el boxeador normal de orthodox?
Bueno, a mí me gusta siempre.
Los dos son zurdos, Néstor, ¿no?
Sí, los dos son zurdos.
I thought Frank was orthodox. I'm sorry. Dale.
Sí. Zurdito también.
A mí me agrada siempre pelear con zurdo, aunque he tenido como 4 o 5 peleas nada más con zurdo. Yo me adapto mejor con peleadores zurdos.
You're right. Los dos son zurdos. So he said he adapts better to southpaws. He's already had about 4 or 5 fights with southpaws, so southpaws would be his preference. But I messed up. I thought Frank was a orthodox fighter, so those are 2 southpaw fights. But since I got him, I got to get his thoughts on Michelle Rivera. Obviamente que te tengo aquí. ¿Cómo viste la pelea de Michelle y cuáles son tus opiniones sobre la posibilidad de él pelear con el puertorriqueño Matías? Hay rumores de eso y obviamente esa pelea es bien difícil.
Bueno, me siento muy bien, ya que, como muchas personas saben, Michelle y yo venimos prácticamente juntos. Me sentía un poco preocupado en la pelea, ¿sabes? Se estaba moviendo mucho, estaba con miedo de que se cansara y eso, pero cuando lo vi después del 6, me relajé y comencé a disfrutarme la pelea y para mí lució bien. Una pelea con Matías, no te puedo decir que sea una pelea fácil. es una pelea sumamente difícil, pero no imposible.
Yeah, so he said, he was happy, obviously, for Michelle. Everybody that knows him knows that he came to this country or traveled with Michelle, and they're friends. So he was happy to see him get the win. He felt a bit nervous for the first 6 rounds until that 6th round, and moving forward, he realized Michelle had it. He thought Michelle would get tired because he was moving a little bit more than he would have liked. But after that 6th round, he seen Michelle took off, so he was happy. In terms of a fight with Matisse, he feels like, look, he can't lie to us and say it's going to be an easy fight. It will be a difficult fight, but it's one that we would have to see how it plays out on that night. Obviously, do you guys know already who you're facing? And if you do, I'm not trying to find out if you can't announce it, but do you know? Because that just helps me be able to ask who he wants. I think they froze shit. Both of them. Damn. You. Okay. We definitely got a frozen face here. We're gonna go to the super chats in the meantime. We got Average Boxing Fan. We said that. Average Boxing Fan, $5. Why did Bill duck the question? He was all hyped about 147 with Thurman, so now he doesn't want to disrespect Regis. Your man Bill is a clown face. Bro, you know how it is. The one that you guys think they're gonna avoid is the one they got to get paid right for. Leonardo says Haney protection plan in full effect. Laughing out loud emoji. Looks like we lost them for sure because of the they're in the car, right? So I think the service. I don't want to send the link to my man Samson and them without being completely done with Edwin. But let me see what I got on here in the 208. Who is this? Oh, got him back. Coach, you back.
Volvimos.
Ya. So, ¿qué es lo que la última cosa que oíste, que escuchaste?
No, se perdió todo, se apagó el teléfono.
Ok. So,
Sobre de Matías, de que, como te digo, la pelea no es difícil, pero no imposible.
Y la última fue que él quiere saber con quién el próximo oponente que hay. Pero no, él no quiere que le digamos, pero si te digo que es Canelo, no se lo puede decir nadie.
Si ya tú sabes quién va a ser, obviamente no te voy a preguntar que me diga porque no lo puedes no
Sí.
puedes dejar saber, pero si
Escucha
no
esto, escucha esto.
Si yo te digo que es Canelo, tú no se lo vas a decir a nadie.
He said, if I tell you it's Canelo, if you ain't gonna tell nobody. No, porque Canelo dijo hoy que él está buscando otro cinturón para la Navidad, so no puede ser de los Santos.
Oh, pues no es Canelo. No. Néstor, ahora no se puede hablar porque están en negociaciones, o enseguida que se...
La próxima semana, ¿sabes?
Pero
salga ya la semana que viene.
sería un nombre grande, así como la última pelea, un nombre que los fanáticos se van a emocionar.
Sí, es algo que nosotros no queremos turno, no queremos pelea con nadie que esté debajo de nosotros, queremos los de arriba. Si nosotros estamos en ese nivel, nosotros queremos enseñar que nosotros en verdad estamos en ese nivel, peleando con los mejores.
So he said, look, right now we obviously can't tell you, we're still in negotiations, but what we can say is that it is a name that the fight fans will be happy with. And if they're saying we're on that level, that's what we want to do. Keep showing that we belong on that level by fighting people on the top. So, I guess we can expect a good, big name for Edwin's return. Now, we do have some questions from the people, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those up and get to your questions in just a bit. It's going to take a second here, but we do have a post. If you want to ask Edwin a question, you need to hurry on up. We got the first one coming from Jerv in New Jersey. He says, De lo mío, que lo que tigre. In my eyes, you survived and did nothing to push the fight in your favor. What do you think you could have done better to get the win against Shakur? Can't wait to see you again. Primo, que Dios te bendiga. So él dice que en los ojos de él piensa que tú no hiciste lo suficiente para empujar la pelea en tu favor. ¿Qué tú piensas que tú podrías hacer diferente para ganarle esa pelea contra Shakur?
Mira, es algo que, como yo digo, cada persona tiene una opinión y es respetable, pero tú no puedes cortarle el ring a una persona que está corriendo, no boceando, ¿me entiendes? Si yo voy a arriesgar más a buscar la pelea, yo voy a parecer un novato y él me va a dar, yo voy a caer en su juego, ¿entiendes? Yo no debí caer en su juego, ¿por qué? Porque yo no voy a demostrar mi nivel si luco así. Voy a parecer un Oscar Valdés.
Ya.
Como lució con él.
So basically, he's saying you can't cut the ring off on a guy that's running. He's not fighting, he's running. And what he wanted me to do was fall into his trap, get frustrated, and open up, throw shots to try to stop him from running so that he can counter me. And then I won't look good. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I was trying to look good, so I wasn't going to open up and look like Oscar Valdez. I just want to say he answered that shit beautifully. Quiero decir que tú contestaste eso perfecto, porque eso es la verdad. Esa pelea era difícil. Tú tenías que, you had to tackle that motherfucker. It's the only way you was going to get him that night. Pero en la próxima,
Néstor,
dígame.
elaborando en esa misma sección donde estamos. Nosotros quisiéramos, porque él dijo la excusa de que tenía una mano mala.
Sí.
So, nos gustaría que se mejorara y tomara su tiempo y nos llamara para esa revancha so he could redeem himself.
Yeah.
So Chael Gloves, the trainer, is saying that, you know, Shakur made excuses that his hand was hurt and that's why the performance looked the way that it looked. So what they would love is for Shakur to get healed and offer them the rematch so that he can redeem himself, because he is the one that made the fight look the way that it looked. We got the next one coming here from Tony Montana, which is gelling in Michigan. How do you stay mentally grounded and not overreact into a mistake when someone is running away like that? So él quiere decir, Jalen está preguntando de Michigan, él quiere decir, ¿cómo tú te quedas mentalmente enfocado en la pelea sin hacer errores sabiendo que una persona está corriendo la noche entera?
Es algo que se viene trabajando y es lo que mi entrenador, porque mi entrenador dice, tú sabes boxear, yo solamente tengo que añadirte cosas del profesionalismo, la paciencia. Yo era alguien que me citaba mucho, ya él me ayudó a controlar eso y me ayudó en la pelea también con Adorno, me ayudó a mantenerme calmado y es una experiencia que él me dice que nadie me la iba a enseñar, que yo tenía que vivirla y es algo que he venido demostrando hasta en los sparring.
So he says, you know, getting with Chelo, the first thing that they wanted to work on was him settling down. You know, he was a little bit hyper. And these last couple of fights with Chelo, he's been able to settle down, be a bit more patient, and he think that's what he showed. And that's why, you know, the fight went the way that it did. Because, again, he didn't open up because he kept with the patience, hoping that he would land that shot or find that shot. We got Flacco 38 from North Carolina. He says, Shakira felt your power, and after that, he ran. Do you want to fight? No, who do you want to fight next? So, él está diciendo que Shakur, pero él lo está llamando Shakira, obviamente, sintió tu poder y después empezó a correr. Si tú lo viste así, y con quien tú deseas pelear en tu próxima pelea.
Mira, cuando yo le di el primer jab, se puso pálido. Oye, se puso blanco, digo yo, vea que está cogido. Entonces, cuando él sintió eso, ahí entonces se montó en los patines, comenzó a correr. Él estaba esperando que yo me cansara. Para él, tú sabes que él siempre tiene esa costumbre del quinto o sexto round, pararse a intercambiar con los peleadores, pero porque ya están desgastados. Yo no, yo me preparé para mis 12 rounds, que sabía que pasaría algo igual, y es como yo dije en la entrevista de ESPN, que la única forma que se puede salvar es corriendo, y eso fue lo que hizo.
So he says that he believes Shakur's game plan was to allow Edwin to get tired, but Edwin said he knew that. You know, he studied and watched tape, and he realized that Shakur comes on strong after the 5th round, but usually when his guys are already, you know, tired. So he prepared for 12 rounds, and that never came for Shakur, so he never stopped because he kept running. We got Alex in West Palm Beach, South Florida. If you could do one thing different in your last fight, what would it be? Alex en Florida dice, si tú puedes hacer una cosa diferente en la última pelea, ¿qué va a hacer? ¿Qué hubiera sido?
Entrenar para un maratón.
¿Cómo?
Entrenar para un maratón, no para pelear.
You fucking funny. Bruh, he said, the question was, what's the one thing you would do different? He said, train for a marathon, not a fight. God damn.
Déjame decirte que, como te digo, yo no pude demostrar nada en esta pelea. La gente, cuando vea con alguien que tenga hambre igual que yo de pelear, de demostrarle, ¿sabes? De darle al público lo que el público pide y paga.
Lo que es el boxeo.
Lo que es el boxeo, ¿me entiendes? Esto no es... tienen más temor de perder un 0 que enfocarse en lo que es la crítica que le van a decir. Su imagen, ¿entiendes?
Yep. So he says that in this fight, Shakur was more worried about losing that O than his image and the criticism that he would receive in this fight. He says you guys were not able to see what he could really do, and you won't see that until you get another fighter just as hungry as him in the ring with him so that he can show his talent, because, you know, obviously both fighters have to be hungry. Both fighters have to want to put on a good performance. Interesting, man. We got Dre Bogus, who says, Dre in San Diego, Shakur has hinted at having a left-hand injury in the ring. Did you notice he wasn't throwing the left hand? Él dice que Shakur obviamente ha salido en las redes y ha dicho que tenía la mano lastimada, pero él lo borró. ¿Tú en la pelea sintiste que él tenía la izquierda lastimada o que no estaba tirándola?
Mira, esos son excusas baratas. Si él hubiera tenido la mano mala, no la tiraba las 2 o 3 veces que la tiró con mala intención. Si él hubiera tenido la mano mala, ni siquiera la saca en ningún momento. ¿Tú sabes qué fue lo que pasó? Que ya nosotros averiguamos y descubrimos y salieron hablando. Los sparring que nosotros estábamos haciendo con los boxeadores zurdos era seteando esa mano para joderlo por ahí. Por eso no la sacó, porque ya se lo hubieran advertido.
Y mandamos 4 para el hospital.
Mandamos
4 para el hospital, Néstor, con esa mano. Ya él sabía más o menos. Y la palabra se regó en New Jersey y en Filadelfia.
So, according to Edwin and his trainer, they were working on the game plan, and the game plan was to fight against that left hand, and that's why that left hand never came out. He does not believe Edwin. Edwin does not believe that the hand was injured. He said if that hand was injured, then why the 2 or 3 times that he did use it, why did he use it with such bad intentions? He threw that punch in a manner to try to knock him out. There's no way you're going to throw it that way if your hand was injured. The true reason he didn't use that hand is because the word got out, not only in New Jersey, Philadelphia, but in Las Vegas, that Edwin had sent 4 sparring partners to the hospital countering because of that left hand. So,
and to add to that, Ness, how is your left hand injured? And a couple of days after the fight, you want to spar Haney for $1 million.
So y'all seen that on social media. So obviously no need for translation there. He said that in English. But we got Nino B, who says, from Virginia, do you think you will move up to 140?
Mira, yo por pelear estoy dispuesto a bajar a 30 y subí a 40.
No relaje. 30 de verdad.
30 o 40.
Wow. He said him
Say
to
no more.
fight. Oh, disculpa, dale.
You know, he say no more. He say something in English.
Okay. He says for a fight, he'll go down to 30 or 40. So that's super impressive. We have Big Bruh from Richmond, Virginia. What is the most impacting thing you took from that last fight? Él quiere saber cuál es la cosa que te impactó más en la pelea, que tú aprendiste de esa pelea, lo más que tú aprendiste de esa pelea.
Bueno, de esa pelea yo aprendí que hay un nuevo estilo. Hay un nuevo estilo que no es boxeo, sino correr maratón dentro de un ring.
No me da ni
No me da ni te doy y gano
That's
la
the new
pelea.
style. That's the new style.
He said that the new style is not hit and don't be hit, but I'm not going to hit you, you won't get hit me, and it's not a boxing fight, it's a marathon. That he learned that in the fight. That's the new style. We got Dose from D-Man?
No. He's gonna say that's a new style of boxing now. It's not the sign of boxing now. It's not the sign of the game. The box hit and don't get hit. This is don't hit and don't get hit. You got it?
Now,
So
tell you as the trainer, I don't want to let you go because because they Dominican, you ain't want. You the trainer, so they're going to say, why didn't the trainer tell him to cut the ring off? Can you explain from a trainer standpoint, then have Edwin tell us from a fighter standpoint, why versus Shakur that night the ring could not be cut off? What needed to be done and what couldn't be done?
Okay, because in order to cut the ring, right, Ness, it's two step back, 2 step forward. You use your laterals. You move to the side. You cut the ring there, right? Or you lure him in. You throw away the jab so he can walk into your left. Or you either throw away your left so he can walk into your hook, right? But once Edwin tried to advance to occupy that space, once he took that step back after a feint, we tried a triple jab so we could get to him. Once he used the triple jab, he was in there no more. Now he'll take off running. You didn't know where he was gonna go. He'll dash out left or right. The same thing we're trying to set him up with when we try to bring him in, lure him in. With Edwin, I told Edwin put the ear muzzle on. Maybe he'll think you're vulnerable and he'll start touching. Maybe we could catch him there. That didn't happen. We tried so many things that if you're a boxing person and you know about boxing, you would have picked all those little things up. But we was not gonna put one feet over the other and get out of balance and launch and reach and get caught. Because being that they say Shakur got pillow fist, you walking in, he's throwing a punch. That could cause havoc. That could cause a little problem. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna feel the pop. You're gonna feel the
You're going to
punch.
feel it more because you're walking into the punch.
Walking in like Marquez. Let's say for instance
Pacquiao.
Marquez and Pacquiao. One of those scenarios. So we didn't want to do that.
And Edwin, en tu opinión, ¿cómo se corta el cuadrilátero peleando contra Shakur? Obviamente en ese día tú no lo podías hacer porque es la primera vez que tuviste ese estilo que él iba a correr, pero si te dan la revancha, ¿cómo tú lo harías ahora para la próxima?
Mira, es algo que es sumamente difícil. ¿Sabe por qué? Porque si yo cambio lo que yo llevo, él puede cambiar con lo que fue ese día. Puede venir diferente, entonces es algo que es una adivinanza, ¿entiendes? No es algo que, ok, él va a cambiar eso, yo tengo que cambiar el plan, ¿me entiendes? No sé si él viene igual o viene diferente.
So I asked
Pero lo que estamos acostumbrados a ver fue lo que yo fui a hacer y eso es lo que estaban acostumbrados a ver de él. Él caminaba paso corto, pero nunca lo hubieran visto dando paso.
Correr y brincar como un gato. Ningún entrenador te enseña eso,
No.
Néstor, para pelear con un estilo así, ¿entiendes? Ni Maidana, que tú dices Maidana, Porter, son gente que peleaban así, que son gente de presión, desde siempre han peleado así, está bien. Ellos saben cómo caminar y entrar. pero que los oponentes de ellos no han sido un oponente así que ha sido resbaloso y que haya salido brincando. Porque todo el mundo que pelea en el, they stay in the pocket. Se quedan en el bolsillo, ahí en el bolsillo, te hacen fallar, sí. Te giran, te quitan, te agarran, te cambian, ¿entiendes? Te cambian la vista, te hacen mover distinto, ¿entiendes? Con él no.
No pudimos, oye, si nosotros sabíamos que iba a ser así, yo no me mataba tanto. Yo guanteando con 147 libras, porque los 135 no estaban aguantando el empuje.
Okay, so there was a lot there. I'm probably going to miss some, but we're going to start backwards first. He said Edwin says, if I would have known how this fight was going to play out, we wouldn't have done such tough sparring. I was sparring 140s and 147 pounders because 35 pounders couldn't take my punch. We were expecting a totally different fight. We were expecting the fight that he showed us his entire career, where he takes a few steps back or a few steps forward, but he doesn't literally jump out of danger, which is what he was doing on fight night and running. When I asked him about how would he approach the fight to get that win the second time, he says he really doesn't know. It's more of an anomaly because you don't know what Shakur's going to do. They trained for a certain style, and Shakur showed up to run. So if they train for Shakur to run, he may show up with a different style. So while he wants the rematch, the approach still isn't concrete just yet. We got Rod in LA who says, De lo mío, you versus Tank in 2024, tell Samson to make it happen. And if not Tank, then please, you versus Chihuahua Cruz. Ok, so de Los Ángeles se llama Rod y él dice que tú contra el Tank en el próximo año, que llama a tu promotor Samson y que le diga que lo haga. Y si no con Tank, tú con Isaac Pitbull Cruz.
Mira, ¿cómo te digo? Yo he venido haciendo desafíos. Yo he dejado al Tank tranquilo porque si tú te has fijado, cuando al Tank lo llaman, él se hace el loco. Entonces yo estoy esperando que él mismo sea el que vea que yo estoy causando terror en la división y él me llame él.
He said, my approach with Tank is to just leave him alone because we've noticed that when you mess with Tank, he probably won't give you the fight. My goal is to just keep terrorizing the division so that he's going to notice that I'm the terror in the division. I really did enjoy that answer. He has answered some of these tremendously, man. Edwin, so tú eres joven, tú nomás tienes 24 años.
Recién cumplido.
Diablo, mano, tú te ves. Yo no sabía que tú eras tan joven.
Los trotes, la lucha.
¿Cuándo llegaste a los Estados Unidos por primera vez?
Hace 2 años ya.
Oh, wow. So he's only come to America in the last 2 years. Wow. How long have you been dreaming of being a professional boxer? ¿Desde cuándo tú tienes, obviamente, el sueño de ser un boxeador profesional y un campeón?
Bueno, es desde siempre, porque, o sea, cuando tú no tienes el conocimiento de que...
¿De qué edad quieres saber?
Sí, ¿de qué edad?
Yo empecé el boxeo.
No,
sí,
¿de cuándo tú tenías el deseo de ser un campeón y sabías que tú ibas a ser un boxeador?
Yo tenía la edad de los 12 años y, ¿cómo te digo? Yo vengo de sangre deportista, de combate, ¿entiendes? Mi papá era peleador de combate también y nosotros venimos de esa sangre, pero yo practiqué varios deportes y el único que me llamó y me sacó fue el boxeo. Desde los 12 años y le he dedicado todo a eso.
So he says that he comes from combat blood, that his dad was a combat fighter, so it's always been in his blood, but he's practiced numerous different sports, but this is the only one that's really, been able to keep him focused and have him dedicate himself to it. So, en lo último, vamos a poner 5 o 7 años, los dominicanos han hecho más nombre en el boxeo para, tú sabes, para los dominicanos. ¿Desde cuándo tú conocías o sabías de Jason Rosario?
Bueno, de Jason Rosario yo sabía desde cuando yo estuve en la selección a los 14 años. eh, Siempre se hablaba de él porque él iba subiendo, o sea, de los prospectos que iban subiendo, él era uno de los que más mencionaban. Eh, se hablaba también de Claudio Marrero, Elio Rojas, eran lo que, o sea, lo que estaban sonando en esos momentos.
So I was asking him, when did he, know the name Jason Rosario, and when did, he get to know him? And he said he met him at 14, and Claudio Marrero, The Matrix, and Elio Rojas was the names being mentioned around that time. Cuando tú lo conociste en el amateur, ¿tú pensabas que él iba a ser un campeón y más de eso, campeón unificado?
Mira, yo no lo conocí en persona. eh, cuando yo lo conocía, yo estaba en profesional. Y yo lo veía trabajar y yo, wow, Tigre tiene un potencial porque era un fajador. Tú le veías en el gimnasio, era fajado, ¿entiendes? Y yo sí, lo veía así como, ¿cómo te digo? Antes de pelear, mucho antes de pelear por el título mundial, yo lo veía, o sea, yo me inspiraba también con él.
So yeah, he said he didn't get to meet him until he was a professional fighter. But when he did get to train alongside him, he would realize that he in his mind he felt like Rosario was a beast because he was definitely training hard. So he certainly was an inspiration, and that's kind of where I wanted to go. Just to see what Dominican fighters were ringing bells in the actual island. So I want to ask, obviously, Joan Guzman, who's been around the longest, and if there was any stories of him. So obviamente Joan Guzman, el más famoso para mí, no sé. ¿Hay un dominicano más grande que Joan Guzman, en tu opinión?
No, no. Para mí, yo siempre le he dicho, el mejor boxeador o sea, es por su trayectoria, ¿me entiendes? Lo que logró, ¿entiendes? Lo posiciona en ser el mejor boxeador dominicano que hasta el momento tiene la República Dominicana.
Ahora, me imagino que el debate debe ser que Joan, como es el más popular, en realidad técnicamente no es el más, ¿cómo se dice? Accomplished. ¿Tú lo dijiste ahora mismo? Ay, Dios. Come on, Chell, help me out. Translate for him.
How are you doing? Good, man. I'm
I
surprised.
fucked up that word, though. I fucked up accomplished.
Accomplished, yeah. He's well accomplished.
But you got to translate for him. He can't translate it either. Okay. Ha logrado. Esa es la palabra, ha logrado. So mi pregunta es, claro que Joan es más popular, pero Jason, como ha ganado más campeonatos, él ha logrado más. So, ¿él viene siendo más grande o no? Para el país no es más grande.
Bueno, mira, es algo difícil, ¿me entiendes? Fue una pelea unificada, creo que fue el único dominicano que pudo lograr eso, tres títulos en una noche. Pero la trayectoria de Joan es lo que, ¿me entiendes? Lo que lo mantiene siendo el mejor.
Mm-hmm. So he says, yeah, technically, obviously, there's no Dominican that unified titles, but the trajectory and the story of Joan is what continues to make him better. So since we're talking Joan, I just want to know his thoughts over Joan being a trainer. Obviamente, como estamos hablando de Joan, ¿cuáles son tus opiniones sobre él ahora siendo un entrenador?
Bueno, lo veo muy bien. Es algo que, tú me entiendes, que es algo que los boxeadores o sea, nosotros los boxeadores amamos esto siendo boxeadores o no lo siendo, ¿me entiendes? Pasamos a ser entrenadores y yo lo veo bien. no todos los boxeadores que pasan entrenador son buenos, pero el trabajo que él ha venido haciendo ha demostrado de que sí tiene potencial y cada día se aprende más.
He says, that all boxers, cannot be trainers, but Joanne has been day by day demonstrating that he's been able to transition and he's doing a great job. So he sends them, his love and wishes him the best. We got Harlem World, who says, has he ever been to Washington Heights, and who's his favorite baseball player? Si Harlem World quiere saber si tú has ido a Washington Heights en Nueva York y cuál es tu pelotero favorito.
Repite la pregunta.
Que si te has ido a Washington, ¿cuál es tu pelotero favorito?
Si he ido a Washington Heights.
Sí.
No, yo no he ido a Washington Heights.
Yo te llevé a comer la casa de mofongo.
¿Eso es de Washington Heights?
Sí.
Oh. Yo no me sé. Yo me monto en el carro y me voy.
Sí. No, Cheo, tiene que llevarlo para la Marina, entonces.
Yo lo he llevado por la Marina, lo que pasa es que yo no hay parqueo y me cobran caro.
No, es verdad. Es verdad, en la Marina es como 65 pesos nada más para parquearse uno. Esa vaina. Pero...
Eso,
estamos en olla.
Estamos pelados.
Shit, what was I supposed to translate there? This is what happens when I don't got my co-host to do that. We just started talking Spanish. But basically, the answer to the question was yes, he's been to the Heights. He didn't realize he was at the Heights. They went to a restaurant called La Casa de Mofongo, which I actually went to. Then I jumped in and said, listen, you got to take him to Dykeman, to the marina, which, people pull up on the boats. It's a nice little spot to eat and hang out. And he says, yeah, I've been wanting to take him to Dykeman, but the parking's too expensive. So I jump in. I'm like, hell yeah, that shit like $65. He like, bro, we broke. We ain't got time for that. We trying to get out this, out of poverty. So beautiful answers. I'm not going to hold you anymore. Thank you so much, Chelo and Edwin. Se agradece, obviamente, pero...
Thanks, Sarah, for putting up with this shit, too.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. Oye, él no quiere mofongo, él quiere mangú, dile.
Mangú.
Hey, estamos aquí que vamos a buscar eso ahora.
Ok. Bueno, hasta la próxima. Gracias.
Te cuida anytime, bro.
Appreciate you. There you have it, Edwin de los Santos.
YouTube family, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.